Welcome to Balls of Fire on P&B TV, the show where sports stories don't just make headlines, they spark conversations. I'm Aroko Tom, and alongside is my co-host,
Abel Sunday.
For the next 1 hour, we're diving headfirst into the hottest, most talked about sports issues making waves locally and globally. Today, Nigerian basketball takes center stage as we examine the recent protests surrounding the Nigerian Basketball Federation, calls for fresh elections, growing consent over the perceived elongation of the current board's tenure, and what this power struggle means for players, stakeholders, and the future of the game in Nigeria. From home to Europe, the drama continues. In Spain, the Super Cup final delivered fireworks as Barcelona edged Real Madrid in a fierce El Clasico showdown, but the shock didn't stop at the final whistle as Xavi Alonso was sacked by Real Madrid, raising serious questions about club decisions, timing, and pressure at the highest level. Over in England, it's cup football intensity as we break down the Carabao Cup semi-final. Arsenal take a crucial 3-2 advantage over Chelsea, while Manchester City stamp their authority in over Newcastle, setting the stage for what promises to be a thrilling conclusion. And on the African continent, AFCON delivers its usual dose of passion and controversies. Senegal edging Egypt 1-0 in a tightly contested semi-final, while Nigeria Super Eagles bowed out to host nation Morocco on penalties after extra time in a match filled with contentious moments that continue to divide opinions across the football world. This is not just analysis, it's perspective, context, and fire-hot debate. Stay with us. This is Balls of Fire on P&B TV. Welcome back to Balls of Fire on P&B TV. I'm Aroko Tom, and here with my co-host.
Yeah, Tom, how are you? And happy weekend to you as well.
Happy weekend. Yesterday we said thank God it's Friday, but today it's Saturday and the weekend has turned out to be fantastic.
Yeah, perfect. And also we have Moody all the way from Warri. Moody, how is Warri this afternoon?
Yeah, Warri is very good. The weather is good. We can't complain.
Okay, Moody, because of time, let's dive into the conversation because we really don't have time. We've seen MBBF last week or last 2 weeks, as the case may be, we're having people coming out to protest at the National Stadium here in Abuja. But do you see that is it the way to go? Because with the tenure of this Musa Kida, I don't know, let's get your own side of the story.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate because the whole idea of internal elongation, I don't know where it was coming from because, and that's the thing about us. Nigerians were a country of laws, but we don't follow laws. It's not in the constitution for a third term and elongation, so I don't know where it's coming from. And I'm really happy with the protest and the agitation for it. We should do things the proper way, and unfortunately, that's why Nigerian basketball has not been able to grow. If we do things the proper way, look, see, nobody is. If we can just follow the laws that we set by ourselves, we won't have these issues will happen. If it's election time, it's election time. If you're eligible to go, you go. I really don't understand this politics they try and play. But by and large, I'm happy because of the protests. It's about time we start doing things the right way.
Okay, we have Dr. Bejang here on our show on Monday, and we point out this, and he said it's actually not a protest, that is an awareness. But looking at it, how the case may be, even being protest or an awareness, anyhow you want to see it, this Musa Kida led board, arguably you cannot say that they've not done so well in terms of national team, because since they came on board, I think the D-Tigers has been flying so far. But in your own view, what do you have to say about the local league?
I didn't hear the last one again. What did you say?
I said, in your own view, what do you have to say about the local league? That's the domestic league.
Well, they have been really disappointed with the domestic league. I don't really call it a league. I think it's a tournament and championship. Yes. The thing I will say is this: is that about him doing well or the Musa Kida?
I stay with us, Modi.
Administration doing well. It's about following leader protocols and laws and the constitution of the earth. So I think it's about time we just follow things the way they are. It's not about You didn't do more, you did more. Let us follow the thing. If it's a 2 year, it's a 3 year, let us follow what the laid down what we all agreed to do. So, that problem about Nigerian, the way that way of doing things.
Oh,
I'm not going
I think we're having a network issue with Moody. I don't know, but what he's trying to say now, he's talking about what is the need of them trying to stay in office after spending 8 years. I beg your pardon, because of course this is their second term in the office, and from what Beijing said, 31st in his constitution, they're supposed to election supposed to be they're supposed to hold election, but now what they are saying that they started operation October, so which is they had to extend it to October, and that is why the stakeholders are saying no, that shouldn't happen. But let me get your own take before Moody will come. I don't know if we can re-establish a network with, connection with Moody, but let's get your own take.
It's basketball in Nigeria has been something not to write home about. For some people in the grassroots sector of the basketball in Nigeria. But when you look at us talking about international basketball, when you look at our performances when it comes to AFCON, you see that when it comes to Afro basketball. Yes, sir. We just finished. We just crashed out of the AFCON, so the AFCON is still fresh.
Yes, very fresh. We didn't crash out. I don't know why. I disagree with that. That in semi-final, we got to say we are playing today. So we crashed out. I was supposed to play game today.
But
so
we lost the
semi-finals.
Yeah. And back to the Afro basket. Our girls won the Afro basket, and the Musa Kida administration, they decided that okay, let's ride on this. We've won this Afro basket back to back. We won it several times, and this means that maybe we might be able to use this to get a third term in office. That's what some people are saying on the streets of basketball. But when you look at it, you come back and you're like, we have people that have bigger plans for basketball. We have people that you've done your part. It's power is transient. You've done your part. You've done 2 tenures. It's time for somebody else to come in and do their own part. So we think that that's what the basketball stakeholders, which is the players, the club owners, and the managers are trying to say, and that's why they came out en masse to the national stadium and to go and see the National Sports Commission and to talk to them and tell them their grievances. And it was an elating news when they came out and said, you know what, we are going to make sure that this election hold. It might not hold in January, but yes, it's going to hold at least latest March so that we can get along with this. But that brings us up to another conversation, which is, now that we've done this, are we going to have free and fair elections? Or is this going to be the same story of what brought those like Musa Kida into office when we had we had to do elections, MBBF elections twice. Then also there were parallel elections in which other people came in to say, no, this is the right election, and that was what brought Musa Kida. So I think that these are the issues and the grievances that the basketball stakeholders have been talking about so far.
Well, I think you've pointed out, I don't know if we've gotten Moody back, but if we've not gotten him back, but let's just continue talking about the issue in the MBBF. And of course, I think this issue can never be overemphasized, to my own opinion, because you said something about what brought this administration. I remember vividly there was a time they had an election the same day in Benin and same day in Abuja here, which the Abuja fraction, I think Mark, which or something, came victorious, while in Benin we have Musa Kida winning that election. But how can we keep repeating the same thing over and over and over again, and we expect to have a different result? I don't think that is going to work. If I had to pass through this door, and I want to, let's assume I want to go downstairs. There's a lift behind, right? Then I'm passing here. I'll go and meet that window. Always I pass that and I want to go down. I'm going there. So it's the same thing. I'm still going to meet that window, except I change my direction. That's okay. I have to go out, then take my right, go down, then I'll get lift. They'll take me downstairs. So if we don't do that, and I think the basketball community will keep suffering. And look at the pedigree. Of course, if you remember, last 2 Fridays we have the likes of Kone Sam. They were here as well for the meeting. We have the likes of Olumide, which are big names and big. They have voices. They have voice in the MBBF. Should I say stake? I don't know if that's the right
stakeholders.
Yes, there are stakeholders. The NPP are, of course, coming down together and see how they could put tools together. To be honest, all fairness, I think the local league is suffering. Because this is not what last year we complained. I mean, last 2 years we complained after they have league for 2 weeks. For Christ's sake, how can you have Nigerian league for just 2 weeks and you expect them to do well? It's not possible. You are not going. Go ahead.
I believe that's why Mudiaga said something. He said, please don't call it a league. He said, call it a championship or a tournament. Because when you see some competitions that are being held, when you see some tournaments that are being held, the likes of Lewis Eden, you see what individuals are doing. Then why can't people that get federal government allocations, that they have budget in the Nigerian budget, they have allocations in the Nigerian budget, why can't they do better? And this is one of the things that people are saying. Why can't they get private investors? Yes, Total Energy, they sponsor the male league, but later there were controversies saying that we don't know if they are still sponsoring the male league. Then for the female league, we have Zenith. We can have Zenith. We can have different brands. There are multiple brands, food brands, finance brands. There are clothing brands. We can have different brands come in. Media houses like ours can come in and say, see, let's work with you. Let's all benefit from it and let's help basketball grow. And I think that's what the people like Oguche, the people like Olumide, and some other people are coming out, including Bekjang and Afemo. They are coming out and they are saying, no, this is what we have to do in Nigerian basketball. Well, right now we're going to be going on a very short break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about the Carabao Cup semi-finals. Oh my, it was bloody for the likes of Chelsea and Newcastle. And to break it down, we'll have erosion. So don't go anywhere, cause Balls of Fire on P&B TV. We'll be back to Balls of Fire on P&B TV. It was a very, very tragic loss for the likes of Chelsea with their new manager. And it was also a loss for the likes of Newcastle, who some people thought could actually prove stubborn and give an upset. Abel, what is your first take on the Arsenal-Chelsea semi-final?
What you said is it. I don't think Chelsea lost. I think they should cover themselves in glory, because them coming back from 3 down to 3-2. I think they've done so well, considering the fact that there's a controversy concerning the managerial roles. He just stepped in and, of course, tried to see how he could steady the ship. And look at Garnacho came back and give a very, very good account of himself. These are somebody that the likes of Manchester United threw away, that is not good enough. But this is somebody that stepped in and, of course, when he showed a good account of himself. So I think Chelsea should bow down with very good. I think they did well. For my own opinion, though, I don't know about you, but my own opinion, I think Chelsea did well. And I know Eru will also have his own as well. But I think my own opinion, I think Chelsea did so well, even with the new manager. And way forward, I think they're going to do better. And talking about the Newcastle Man City game, man, well, everybody expected that because of the abysmal performance of Man City in recent times, Newcastle should do better and go through. But unfortunately, Pep Guardiola don't want to go down without a fight. And not only that, he don't want to leave the English Premier League without a trophy. I think he's doing everything in his power to get at least one.
Okay. So right now we have Ero John joining us all the way from Benin City, a very, very big and contagious sports analyst. He knows everything about sports when he's talking about sports. Ero, how are you doing?
Good afternoon, Tom. I'm very fine. How are you doing?
Fantastic.
Ero, you had a good cut. I think after Chelsea's loss, you're not going to make it.
he had to cut his hair.
You had to cut your hair
in sacrifice of Chelsea's loss.
What's going on, Ero? I don't know. You have to bring us to the party. What's going on?
You know, in the Igbo tradition, when a woman loses her husband,
she has to shave her hair. Yes.
Yeah, make her shave her hair. So Nigeria and Chelsea, they turned into a widower.
Okay. So let's dive right into it. Let's start with Arsenal Chelsea. So we saw the first leg of Arsenal versus Chelsea. It ended 3-2. What is your first take, considering the fact that Chelsea is going to be going to Arsenal's home on the 3rd of February? So what is your first take?
The only surprise for me in that match was the fact that Chelsea scored 2. I'm a Chelsea fan, but I'm telling you the truth. That's my only surprise. I'm not surprised that we lost. When I saw because I didn't watch the match, I concentrated on watching Nigeria against Morocco because the both games were at the same time. But I went back to watch the game after and all of that. When I saw the scoreline, I was very surprised that we scored two. How did we score two? How did we place to score two? Because in recent times we have proven to be a very shambolic team. I'm not happy to say this, especially as I'm obviously a Manchester United fan, but I have to tell myself the truth. The team has been shambolic in recent times, and considering the manager that we went to hire, I don't like to judge managers on their when they just arrive, especially when they are managers that don't have pedigree, that don't have a profile, that don't have a history. I don't like to judge them. But my friend called our new manager a PhD teacher. It doesn't look like someone that can push a football club. So,
Somebody that coached the likes of Strasbourg, you are calling him a PhD teacher? No, I mean, you shouldn't say so.
Are you aware that Strasbourg is the first big team he has coached, and that's his first test coach career? All his life, he has been an assistant coach in top team. Manchester United have scored. But so it was like I said, the only surprise for me was that Chelsea scored two in that game, and then considering the person that scored the two goals also Garnacho of all people. So it was a nice full of surprises. I was not surprised by Arsenal winning the game. I knew Arsenal was going to win the game. It is one of the reasons why I did not bother myself watching it. I just concentrated on Nigeria versus Morocco. I was not sure who the winner would be. I already knew the outcome of the game. But I mean, the second leg, and in football, you can never say never. Yes, if it is football, anything can happen. So the second leg will be on the 10th of February. It is still a London derby. It will be at the Emirates. Let's see what happens. They are already leading by. They already have an advantage, 3 goals to 2. Anything can happen. I mean, before that game, we would have played a couple of matches. The coach would have played about 3 to 4 games, about 3 games actually. So he would have probably had an insight to what each player look like, and his own setup would have started. So we'll see the approach he will use in the second leg, whether we'll be able to get any results from there. But I was not surprised sincerely. I expected the result that I got. As a matter of fact, I was disappointed at Arsenal. How did you allow Chelsea to score you two? Arsenal are the most informed Premier League team right now in the world. So how did Chelsea that is struggling to score against the likes of Sunderland, against the likes of Brentford, how they managed to score you 2 goals? So this is what it is. This is football. So like I said, the results were well predicted, and it came out just as predicted.
I still think Chelsea also have a chance because the second leg, them coming back 2 goals. I'm telling you, well, let me just ask this question. Let's not look as if I'm putting words into your mouth. At Emirates, what do you see Chelsea playing? What do you see them playing? Or what kind of fight do you see them giving? Because definitely they have nothing to lose. Even they sit back, nothing to lose. But what do you see with this Chelsea team at Emirates?
Oh, okay, thank you very much for that. I think as Emirates, I expect Chelsea to play better. I expect them not to, like you said, I don't expect them to go and sit back. You're already on the loose end. You have nothing to lose at this point. And the matter of fact, you have everything to fight for. Arsenal is the one that has everything to protect. Even if over time in recent years it has been an almost impossible task defeating Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium. But like I said, in football, you can never say never. Anything goes, anything can happen. So I expect Chelsea to play better. And then the second leg, we'll see some of the Chelsea players back in the fold. You saw in that game we played without the likes of we played without some key players. Some players were out. Rich James did not play. Cole Palmer did not play. A couple of important players were missing in action. So I think the second leg will have these players back in the fold because I saw a news recently that Obama and residents they are back to training. So I want to believe that 3rd of February is just a matter of 2 or 3 weeks from now. So we will have these players back in the fold, and we know what this caliber of players brings to the team. So we'll see the shock they are going to have. And I expect Chelsea to be all out in the second leg because the truth is, this is the only competition we have any chance of winning this season, considering the way we play and considering the kind of manager we want to hire. Except he wants to perform a miracle and win us a trophy in his first season. I don't, like I said, personally, I don't have any outside of faith in him. I don't see him as a good coach. I don't think Roman Abramovich will ever go to sign a manager like that. But yeah, we are where we are at this point. So this is the only competition. I mean, this is the semi-final. This is the only competition we have any glimpse of hope of ever winning this season. The Premier League is up the radar for us. I don't want to talk about the Champions League and the Star Card. It's also up the radar for us. So let's see what happens in the second leg. I still believe that. I believe in my team, and I believe that we still have a chance. As I, there's something I always tell you: 1% chance, 99% fail. Yeah.
Okay, Errol, that's fine. Let's talk about Manchester City and also Newcastle. What the outcome was it? Was it what you expected?
I must, I must confess, I really did not expect Tottenham Hotspur. I expected the match to be more intense. I expected it to be more fierce because Newcastle is not a team that you can just easily write off this season. In fact, in recent times, in the past 2-3 seasons, they turned out to be a very formidable team ever since the Arab owners took over the team. They've become better, they've become stronger. So, and like you said earlier when you were talking, Manchester City this season, they are not so exceptional. They are inconsistent also. It is even now that they are trying to come up. Earlier on in the season, they were also having so many inconsistencies. They win today, they draw tomorrow. So, going into that game being a semi-final fixture, I expected better from Newcastle. I expected Newcastle to give them a run for their money. I expected Newcastle to go down the fight. I didn't expect that. I see that as a very easy win for Manchester City. And it was even played at St. James Park. So it was even more, it was very, that was the surprising result for me. Not even the Chelsea Arsenal result. That was the surprising result for me, the Newcastle Manchester City. I expected better from Newcastle. I expected that Newcastle was going to give them a fight. At some point, I even expected Newcastle to cut an offset. At least, even if not in this first leg, I expected Newcastle to cut an offset. But it is what it is. Like we always say, football happens. And I think the likes of Semenyo being new signing and he brought his brilliance and his spark. Let me call it the good luck charm of a new signing. That was not paved the way for Manchester City. So good luck to them and congratulations to them also.
Perfect. But what do you see? The second leg, do you see any bite from I'm talking about Newcastle. Do you see anything different from Newcastle when they're going for the return leg?
Yes. The reason I said yes is because they say he who runs from the fight lives to
Fight another day.
He will fight and run away. Yes, lives to fight another day. It is a two-leg encounter. We have witnessed people go down 4-0 in the first leg side, and in the second leg they come up to win the game. I'm referring to Barcelona PSG. It's happened at a time. We have witnessed so many comebacks in football. You understand? Even in recent years. So you cannot completely conclude and say, oh, this side is over. No. Until we get to the second leg. I see Newcastle giving it a harder try in the second leg. I believe they will also step up. They would have gone through that game. The coach would have gone back to watch the game. They would have known where the errors came from, where their issues came from, the loopholes, and then they will do better going into the second leg. They will split up. They will want to get a result against Manchester City, and even if they can, they would also want to win the game and come out at the team going to the final. Manchester City, on the other hand, want to maintain the advantage they already have and even trying to punish Newcastle the more. So yes, I expect Newcastle. I see Newcastle coming up with a fight in the second leg yesterday because they are a team. They are a stubborn team. Newcastle is a very stubborn team. So I expect that stubborn spirit. I expect the fighting spirit from Newcastle. I don't expect Newcastle to just come to the second leg and give all hopes away. I mean, 2-0 is not a result that you cannot bounce back from. Sincerely speaking, but to be honest, it's not a result you cannot bounce back from, even from the best of teams. This is football. Crazy things happen. So yes, I expect a lot from Newcastle going into the second leg.
Okay, fine. Eru, before I let you go, because we're running out of time, Manchester United and I must say it. Manchester United versus Manchester Derby today. Who do you think is going to carry the day?
Manchester United is already leading as we speak. They are leading 1-0.
But that is not even if they are leading 1-0, is that even this thing? Nobody can tell about.
Manchester United, they are football offense. They are going to lose.
I think it's 0-0. Is it 1-0?
No, it's 0-0.
I think it's 0-0. It's not 1-0.
Okay, the goal was cancelled.
Yes, it's goalless.
It's
goalless, yeah.
Manchester City is going to defeat them. Whatever they are doing, they are going to defeat them.
Thank you very much, Eru.
That club is very serious.
Thank you very much, Eru. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope you have recovered from the heartbreak.
I'm not. I don't talk. I don't want to watch football till now. I'm still nursing my heart till now.
That's what Tom is going through every
It's quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate. I'm used to the pain. I'm used to the pain. We go through it all the time. Manchester United keeps disappointing us. So we are used to the pain. But it's quite unfortunate. I think the only people that actually enjoyed on that day are Arsenal fans because they won Chelsea. They gave Chelsea a blistering defeat on that day. So my heart goes out to Chelsea fans as well that supported the Super Eagles.
All right, thank you, Eru. Thank you for your analysis. Thank you for joining us. Yeah,
thank you.
We'll be going on a short break, and of course, when we come back, Balls of Fire will return. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. It's still Balls on Fire, reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. And of course, Tom, now down to Super Cup, the finals. I never saw it coming, but I thought that Real Madrid will win this one. But unfortunately, Barcelona did it over. And what is inflict with this Real Madrid side? Because since he came on board, he has been in fact, I don't even know how to say, he has been tormenting that team right, left, center. And the Los Blancos, they don't care losing anything, but not to Barcelona. Yes. You can beat they lost to their rival. I think what's that? Simeone's team, Atletico Madrid. They lost to Atletico 5-2. Nothing happened. But Barcelona beat them 3-2. They sacked their coach. So what is the problem between Los Blancos and the Catalan?
I think it's quite unfortunate that Xabi Alonso lost his job. Nobody expected that he was going to lose his job. But when you look at it, there's a rivalry between both teams, between the Barcelona side and the Real Madrid side. You can't tell me that each time you play the Hansi Flick side, you keep losing. And I'm going to be honest, I expected Barcelona to take it. I think there was a time when, before the match, we heard that Hansi Flick has never lost a final before. So when we came in, we were like, no, we know how it's going to end. Especially a Barcelona side that it seemed like they've been having a free run to the finals. But Real Madrid played Atletico Club previously, and it was not easy for them. It was quite difficult. So I think that it's not just about what happened. I think it's basically about the performance of Real Madrid. It's the build-up of the performance of Real Madrid, and that the management just looked at it and said, you know what, we think it's time to go because we cannot be losing. It's just like saying Chelsea loses to Manchester United. Obviously, even if you keep winning, the managers are going to call you. The managerial team will call you and let you know that if you do not step up, we are going to step in and we are going to kick you out. And I think that is the same case. But when you look at Hansi Flick's side, come on, this guy came out blistering hot. He said, you know what? The only way to win this game is through our attacks. We can concede, but we have to keep scoring. And that's where you see players like the likes of Rafinha. It seemed like he just built that whole attack on Rafinha. And Rafinha was fantastic. It was fantastic from Rafinha. But when you look at the Real Madrid side, come on. Nobody expected Real Madrid to put up such a fight. Real Madrid had an amazing run. They said something and it seemed like they did it. They said that they were going to go in, they were going to go in all out attack. They were not going to play defense. They were not going to behave like the Egyptians behaved in the AFCON against the Senegalese side, where they said, you know what, we think that you are more physical than us and we are going to relax a little bit and try to keep this game. But instead, they went in and they took it all out.
Well said, Tom. And Tom, after that finals on Monday, the biggest story that broke out this week was the sacking of Xabi Alonso, and of course, it was making headlines everywhere. And but do you think the right? I said this in one of our shows this week. I don't think that is the right decision to take. Why sacking your manager right now? When you know that, of course, you need stability. There's also transfer window. This is January transfer window. You can see, okay, let's try and see how, knowing fully well that his track record is what he has done before now. Give him some time, back him up with players or money so that he can sign more players and see how he could fortify his team. Arguably, you will not you agree with me that Real Madrid has issues with injuries. There was a time where the back lines were all injured. So such a team, you can say, okay, how can we really help this manager? It's not by sacking him. I think Xabi Alonso was right on point, and I think he's the best manager for that job. But now sacking him, who will you want to replace with? That's my question. Who do you think can replace Xabi Alonso? Who?
When you look at it, I do not think, first of all, that's who will replace Xabi Alonso. I think that is a mystery on its own. As you ask me that question, I'm trying to think, and I've been thinking, and I do not think that there's anyone right now apart from maybe somebody that is already in the Real Madrid mix already. But when you look at it, I think this is the best time to let Xavi go, because we are in this transfer window. So right now, if you are getting a new coach or a new manager, the question and what you need from him is, okay, what do you need to work? Which players do you also need to work with so that he can get those players in? And that's why you see the likes of Chelsea, you see in the English side, you see the likes of Manchester United.
I know you will call Manchester United.
No, we have to call them.
But calling Manchester United and getting carried there, is that the right position? Is carried better than Ruben Amorim? Because look at it now. No disrespect to Carrick, but I don't think you get Ruben Amorim. Then you now say you want to get Carrick to replace him.
I think
if you want to get an interim, then I think you should leave him till the end of the season. Then you can now bring a new manager that will start afresh.
Manchester United's problem, like I've said, is they've lacked patience. They've lacked patience. It's not, they've had good managers that come in, they've done well in other clubs, they come in and they perform well. But when we look at the
English managers, players also.
Even players.
Yes.
Because when you look at the likes of Rashford, just look at what Rashford did when he was in Manchester United. He later moved on to
Barcelona.
No, he first played
West Ham. He went to West Ham on loan.
No. He went to Aston Villa.
Okay, Aston Villa. Sorry, Aston Villa.
He went to Aston Villa and he was hot. He was on fire. And then he went to Barcelona. So you can see that Manchester United has a problem. When Ronaldo came, he said something. He said what I met years ago when I came to Manchester United as a young boy is the same thing that I'm meeting here now. And that's not what it should be. I think that the Glazers should look into it. And it's not just about making money. This is a team that has made the highest amount of money in the English Premier League. But we're not talking about the English Premier League.
But do you know, before you leave there, do you know that after you guys crashed out from the FA Cup, a lot of your fans took to streets? Some were even crying that the Glazers need to leave because they are just making money out of the club. Because I think Manchester United is doing well. You are talking about business, but pitch likewise, performance like on the pitch, they're performing so poorly.
I think the fans have realized that we are with these guys and there's nothing we can do about it, because they have the money to get the players, they have the money to
you
build
think the fans
the system.
cannot do anything? They can force them out. Why not?
No, the fans. The funny thing, the fans have tried, but what the fans are saying now is this: get other investors. There are people that have shown interest from Saudi Arabia, but I think we are not even talking about Manchester United, because they've lacked patience with their managers, because they've had amazing managers.
Can leave your troubles for you.
But let's leave their troubles.
Let's leave your troubles for you.
Let's leave their troubles.
Let's
leave their troubles for them. But let's go to the main issue. When you look at Xabi Alonso, you realize that apart from the issues that he had with the management and his loss against Real Madrid, you look at it and you realize that he had issues with some players as well. I think he had issues with Vinicius Jr. Then he had punctuality issues as well on the pitch. So you can see that it's not just about the loss. It has been a build-up. And because of his relationship with the players, he has not been able to get the result. You are giving them a very, very tasking job to do, like what PSG has been doing. Let's press and press and press. But yet you are not seeing results. Just look at the likes of Brian Diaz, who went on to the AFCON. Some people were like, why didn't we see this performance earlier on? This guy is a star, but we are not seeing this performance. And these are the questions that we keep asking. When will Real Madrid get it right? And we hope that Real Madrid is not going to be they are not going to be the Manchester United off. It's quite unfortunate to use Manchester United, but they will not be the Manchester United.
But I don't think that's
Spain.
possible. Even Real Madrid don't even have a coach. I don't think they can go so low to that level. Manchester, yes, it's true. Even if their captain have to take them. But I was thinking for Real Madrid, why they would have bring back Zidane. I was thinking Zidane would have been the best option for them. Don't you think so? Probably to manage the team as an interim at the interim level.
I think when it comes to someone like Zidane, the problem that people look at is he has not been in action for quite some time. Yes, he has a good track record. This is a man that has been extremely active when it comes to the football system. But come on, we need somebody that has been in the game. That's the only reason why Chelsea will come out and Chelsea will bring up somebody like our Strasbourg guy.
All right, Tom. I think let's go on a short break. When we return, of course, we'll have Oba on the show, and he will be taking us through the semi-finals. What happened during the semi-final between Morocco and Nigeria. We'll be right. Welcome back. It's TP&B Sport teaching live from the nation's capital. And of course, we'll have Oba all the way from Ibadan. Oba, good afternoon. Hi, Ibadan. It's like I didn't know one already.
What? Do I have a choice? I'm very glad to go to you guys in the studio this afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you guys doing?
Good afternoon, Oba. You are doing no one, but we'll have third place game. I thought you'd be in the church praying for the Super Eagles.
There is no need for prayers at this point in time. The deed has been done. And there are no much words to say. Let's just see how we can consolidate on what is left of us. That's what I feel.
Okay, Oba, let's look at this critically. On Wednesday, Morocco, Nigeria. Don't you think the Super Eagles gave everything on the pitch?
Okay. I like to start by saying that I love to recap the African Cup of Nations as a whole. I don't know, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
I like to recap the African Cup of Nations as a whole. 2025 African Cup of Nations, Morocco 2025. It's coming to an end tomorrow. We have a game today and tomorrow. I must say it has been a fantastic competition. In terms of hospitality, Morocco has been the best host. Their hotels, their stadiums, their organization, even their security has been top notch. We must give it to them. But there is one thing that CAF did not do this year that we must talk about, and that is going down from where they were last year. In 2024, CAF hosted African Cup of Nations and was the best. In terms of officiating was the best that CAF has ever gotten. Using of the VAR was in top gear. I remember Nigeria and South Africa in 2024. If you remember, we thought we were leading 2-0, only for us to be called back, and we were told that there's a penalty for South Africa, and it led the game into extra time. And we won on penalties. But give or take, this year edition has been marred with Morocco must win at all costs. There has been a whole lot of calls for officiating that has been terrible. Now, let me answer your question. How did we perform against Morocco on Wednesday? Mr. Sonny, I must be sincere with you. We performed woefully. We didn't perform well. All the competition, every game we have been playing before Morocco, we were always dominating. Including Algeria, including Tunisia, we dominated all of them. What happened against Morocco? We could not dominate. Our coach did not know what to do to return us back to dominating. Instead, the Moroccans dominated us and we were defending for 120 minutes. Sassoni, we had just one shot on target, 2 shots in total for 120 minutes. Not good enough, sir. Not good enough. The best side won on penalties. Let's forget who missed penalty. One person is bound to miss penalty, whichever way we like it. We're going to move on now. The best player in the world missed penalty. Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the best players in the world at the moment.
Are you with us, Oba? Well, it seems like we lost Oba there. But there were some controversies that smeared the AFCON semi-finals, Nigeria versus Egypt. And one of those controversies was the controversy of one of FIFA's staffs taking Nwabali's towel that he used to clean his hand. Well, let's watch some of the videos, and when we come back, we hope that we will have Oba with us to analyze the issues that are on ground. You know, that was quite funny. You know, we saw this happen, and when you watch it from TV, you think that, you know, these players do not go through a lot of tension, but it seems like they go through a lot of tension. Abel, what do you think about what happened between the FIFA staff, that's the AFCON staff, and Nwabali?
Well, I think that's unacceptable. That's very bad. It's not professional, because okay, this with this video now, it brings those talks that say, okay, they are trying to win at all costs because they are playing at home, which is very, very wrong. To my own opinion, it's very, very wrong. How can you pick up what they are doing basically there is just to distract the goalkeeper? That's it. Pick it up. The goalkeeper is trying to, because you see for some minutes you will be talking to them, and you are just imagine at that process, and they were attacking, and goals comes in. You just distracted, and it's very, very wrong. And people, and do you know what is even more shameful is that CAF has not even come out to even penalize that action. Do you get? CAF supposed to come out and give a statement, even if they need to sanction them, or it's okay, we are going to look into this thing and we are going to sanction you guys. CAF has not come out to do that. And don't talk about the referee. We're not even going to the referee, because how can you have over 22 fouls for Morocco, and none of those 22 fouls produced any yellow card? You could see. So if you go on and on and on, you could see that yes, there's always a problem. And that's why sometimes we begin to ask, when do we outgrow this kind of situation in Africa? Because we see this thing happen in Europe and everything goes smoothly. Like Oba rightly said, the previous AFCON was praised as one of the best so far in terms of officiating and all of you, but now they just dropped the bomb.
Well, it's quite unfortunate. But I want to ask you one question. We've seen this happen. We saw it with South Africa. South Africa, you know, fielding a bad pitch against Nigeria in the World Cup qualifiers. We've also seen this now. What do you think about the African mentality in football? Because we are supposed to be our brothers' keepers. And, you know, Moroccans, they've come out to say, we do not want to join Africans. We do not want to be classified as Africans.
Then they should leave the AFCON.
When it comes to football.
They should leave the AFCON then. If they don't want to join, then they should leave the AFCON. Then why are they hosting? And, you know, Atisa Oshoala came out, I think within the week, she tweeted that, why is it always Morocco? Why? Why don't you spread this thing as the way they do it before now? Let other people have the opportunity to host, because you know that with hosting this competition, your economically, the nations also, it's going to improve their economy. Now their facility infrastructure is also going to improve, because with that hosting, you know, you have to repair all your stadiums. You must make sure you put them into shape and stuff like that. And you see business move come on like that. But when you now restrict it to just one person, you see that even we know Morocco have the best infrastructure so far. If you're talking about stadium, they have the best. But how can you encourage teams, country like what do I call it, Niger, For instance, sorry to use no disrespect, but country like Niger, how can you encourage them? Country like Kenya, how will you encourage them? Country like Mozambique, how will you encourage them? When you give them that responsibility, it puts them on edge. They're like, okay, let's try and see how we can make something, at least something good. And after the competition, definitely they can now enjoy that facility as time goes on. But to be honest, what the mentality we have in Africa, back to your question, is not really good about sport at all. Spirit of sportsmanship, zero. We don't have it.
It's quite unfortunate that we do not have the spirit of sportsmanship. But we've looked at this, and you talked about hosting, and it seems like Rwanda have actually they've submitted a joint bid with South Africa
to host the next. But do you know now? Okay, when Morocco hosted female AFCON. They are hosting the next AFCON, I hope you know, in March. They are hosting the next AFCON. I think they are hosting under 17 again or something. So everything is just going to Morocco. And that's where people start asking questions. Is it only Morocco that is in Africa?
I think we need to ask the question, is it only Morocco that is in Africa? But still on Africa issue, that brings us to our athlete of the day. And on Balls of Fire, our athlete of the week is a man whose journey defines resilience, pride, and African excellence, Sadio Mane. Born in Bambali, Senegal, a small village with big dreams, Sadio Mane rose from humble beginnings to become one of Africa's greatest football exports. As a young boy, he left home against his family's wishes, driven by nothing but belief and raw determination. From the dusty pitches of Senegal to Europe, Mane's rise was never easy, but it was inevitable. His career took shape in France before exploding onto the global stage with Southampton, and later Liverpool, where he became a Premier League champion, UEFA Champions League winner, and one of the most feared forwards in the world of football. Known for his blistering pace, tireless work rate, and big game mentality, Mane has always delivered when it matters most. And once again, he proved that on the African stage. In the 10th AFCON semi-final clash, it was Sadio Mane's decisive goal that separated Senegal from Egypt, sending the Teranga Lions into the final with a 1-0 victory and bringing an end to Mohamed Salah and Egypt's tournament journey against his former Liverpool teammates. Mane rose to the occasion, showing leadership, composure, the hunger of a champion. Beyond the goal, it was his presence, experience, and calm under pressure that defined the match when Senegal needed a hero. Sadio Mane answered the call. But what truly elevates Mane is not just what he does on the pitch. It's who he is off it, a symbol of humility. He continues to invest in his community, building schools, hospitals, and hope back home in Senegal. For his decisive performance, his leadership, and his continued inspiration across Africa, Sadio Mane stands tall as our athlete of the week. Mr. Iber, what is your opinion on Sadio Mane and the goal he scored? He saved the Senegalese against the Egyptians.
Oh, honestly, I think that is a standout performance. Though he was threatening throughout the game, he threatened the defense of the Egyptians. But getting that goal, it shows one Iroko 3. When they say Iroko 3 in a team, because he always stand out for that team. Be it on the pitch or outside the pitch. So the man is somebody that Senegalese will ever respect for their entire existence. Sadio Mane has been one player that has stood so tall in that team, both national and international. Sadio Mane has been a fantastic player, and thank God he was able to come up on that day and make them to scale through. His goal carried them to scale through. But again, they are meeting Morocco, I beg your pardon, tomorrow. And what will now happen tomorrow? Everybody is predicting the same thing. It's going to go one side. Look at what happened to Nigeria. Definitely, anybody that's going to that finals definitely should have a rethink, because it's going to be one-sided. There's no two ways about it.
Okay, but when you look at the way he played, you can see that it was fantastic, and he pressured them from the wing throughout, trying to break through the wing, trying to get crosses through to make sure that his teammates scored. He was quite selfless, and one thing that made a lot of people happy is the fact that he won his former Liverpool teammate Mohamed Salah, and that was quite the occasion for the Senegalese Iroko, like Abel calls him, Mane. Okay, so they are sending us out of the studio already, and that's how we draw the curtain on this explosive edition of Balls of Fire on P&B TV. From the ongoing MBBF controversies shaking Nigerian basketball to European Cup drama, English football rivalries, and AFCON emotions that reminded us why African football remains unmatched in passion, today has truly lived up to the name. A big thank you for staying with us, for listening, debating, and keeping the conversations alive beyond the screen. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, on YouTube and Facebook at Politics&BusinessTV.English, on IG at PNBTV_English, on X, formerly Twitter, at PNBTV_ENG for highlights, behind the scenes content, and updates on upcoming episodes. Drop your comments, share your opinions, and let us know which stories you want us to tackle next, because your voice obviously is part of this fire. I'm Aroko Tom, and alongside is
I'm Abel Sunday.
Thank you for watching. Until next time, keep the passion alive, keep the debates burning, and remember, this is Balls of Fire.